before we get into this evening's live, I'd like to go over a few short areas of what I think are actually very important here, not just on the charts, but we know Tether has printed off a little bit of money here, and I think we should start there. I think Tanya, if you're listening right now, I thank you very much for sharing this. We have, where was Tanya's at? I know she shared it earlier. Let's see. Because I want to show the exact amount. I mean, I could look it up online, but I'd much prefer to show what Tanya said. I don't know how I got so far up there, but I did. All right, let's see. But we do have, we did have a nice little surge with Tether. So $400 million was printed by USDT from the Tether Treasury. So essentially, like when the U.S. government prints money, Tether just printed $400 million out of thin air, which is the U.S. government, which means they likely, like I said, don't fear the dip the last couple of days. And this will all tie in. I believe I titled it like that yesterday or the day before when we had the drop, or I think it was yesterday in the title. But I talked about don't fear the drop. Something big is brewing. But we talked about the last several days. We knew we had a drop coming down. So it's not an envelope drop to 260. And then I even said if it falls past 260, don't be afraid if it hits $2.49, because that's actually the way it was set up. And it was a nice back test. So there's really no reason we should have been worried. And now the something big we felt like was setting up. The fact that the U.S. the Tether Treasury printed $400 million worth of money, fake money out of thin air, just like the U.S. government does when they expand our money supply. This is good for crypto because now it gets pushed in. And does it make you wonder why everything dipped just before the days before they printed this out of Tether Treasury? That's because the U.S. government's the buyer and seller of last resort. They artificially dropped the price because they created Bitcoin. They created Ethereum. My gut tells me they probably created Solana as well, you know, but at least for Bitcoin and XRP, we know, at least I believe for a fact, they are the makers of both. And that's, well, I mean, I don't know if you would say the maker of XRP, but like the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, you've got the WEF, the World Economic Forum, are one of the biggest investors with Ripple. So, I mean, you could look at worldwide for one and the USA for the other if you want. It doesn't matter to me, however you want to look at it. Tanya, I appreciate you being here, love. And thank you for that information earlier. So I think that this was perfectly placed. I think you just need to read between the lines sometimes with crypto. And the way that it's set up was nothing short of spectacular because it did exactly what you would expect it to do if we were getting shaken out or if they were doing a massive liquidity grab to liquidate everybody who was trying to hold, especially leverage traders, for that push up that we feel is going to be coming to that $3.50 range because there's over $10 trillion of liquidations. It's way more than that. But stacked between $3.38 roughly to $3.50 something cents, it's trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars of short traders that will be liquidated on XRP. It's something we've really never seen before. In that regard, how much money is up there. So now that we've held the 260 FEG and it looks like we're bouncing off it. And the best part is we came down to that $2.49, which to me is nothing short of spectacular, that it cleared out that initial breakout area. And we're able to hold in simultaneously this falling channel, which this morning we talked how we were breaking out because now we have to come back to the top, just like with the rising channel where you go back to the bottom. Now in a falling channel, you come back to the top. And this looks like it's playing out exactly like we drew out before this ever pulled back up. When we were down here, we speculated that in time this was going to create an inverse right shoulder. Was anybody in here out of curiosity? I probably sound stupid to the new people. But was anybody in here when I drew out the inverse right shoulder before it ever even pulled back up? And it was my own speculation. After the drop down, I'm just curious. I'm always wondering who's heard what and seen what. We know we're in a bigger broadening wedge. We definitely know we're in a bigger broadening wedge. Maria, yes, so you were in here. Excellent. I'm glad. I always like when people are in here to see it. JB was in here. That's awesome. John Patak was in here. Excellent. And I'll redraw this in. I don't know when I took this out on my phone. Remember, we've got this downtrending resistance line right here. Oops. We've got this downtrending resistance line that once we break, this will confirm our further move. Ah, shit. I guess we could do it like that because it came down resistance, back down resistance, back down resistance. Okay, perfect. So it's got to break this resistance. We're still inside of it right now, but we're up against it. So, and the best part is on the breakout here, this is this line right here. We came down to 249. The fact that this was the consolidate, and I can put this back so that you can see the resistance support on the way out. But this is what had set up. And the fact that we came down, broke out, not only back tested the 260 FVG, but also back tested the break point at 249. It's spectacular. And you can see we came back down and reaffirmed the uptrend even. So that overzealous sell-off was just that. That's why we can't get worried about things like that. We knew if the 260 FVG broke, that as long as we held $2.49 and it did not use it as a resistance, we were in great shape. This is great. This is a positive consolidation, just like somebody said in the comments. We're just trying to make sure we didn't create a right shoulder, which, like I said, I'd be perplexed if it just died here. I think a lot of influencers might get this one wrong because they're expecting a bigger drop. It's just, I'm not seeing it right now. I seen the potential setup for this inverse head and shoulders, which is now all but surely set up. We had it drawn out until it broke up because it was in the way of how it looked. So I deleted how it looked because it was kind of in the way. But we said, what if this is an inverse left shoulder? You can use this whole thing. Inverse head. And then as it came up, we'd have to create an inverse right shoulder. And that's exactly how we drew it out. And we didn't know it was going to do that. And then it would lead you up into this area if we could break out. First, we'd have to get past the 327. So there's many charts, if you're new, that we have to look at. We can't just look at one or the other. And what's given us a little bit more flexibility here is the fact that XRP seems to have bottomed versus Bitcoin. It's outperformed Bitcoin today by 6x as far as percentages. And we knew from the XRP Bitcoin pairing that we have bottomed versus Bitcoin. And on that consolidation, we back tested a descending wedge, a small one that was created. Even though we broke down, I get it. But when you look at it further in the weekly, it showed you exactly what we needed to see. I mean, there's no debate if we understand technicals. It showed us exactly what we need. We back tested a golden cross in the weekly. That is so super bullish. My head wanted to explode. And then yesterday when we were doing the live, we talked about how in the weekly, it perfectly back tested this descending wedge. Like, if there was a scenario where we could get hot, holy Toledo, and then the Tether Treasury printing $400 million out of thin air. Oh my God, it's the perfect recipe for a huge, I don't know how big, perfect recipe for a pump. And right now I know everybody's happy who's been following and who's been paying attention because we had a tremendous opportunity here to kind of expand our bags a little bit. It looks like to me Algo, I know it's only up 1.5% on the day, but Algo looks like it's trying to bounce off of a short-term inverse head and shoulder. I think it's easier to see the smaller one, but we're trying to legitimately bounce out. I think it might wait till 7 and we could get some upward volatility. We've got a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it literally back tested the initial breakout. Boom, 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 back down. And now it looks like we're getting ready to have a power move. And if that's the case, 28 cents is coming up very quickly. And then once we pass that, it's just going to be an overwhelming breakout. I mean, this could be spectacular if it holds and it moves. So I'm very, very happy about the way Algo's moving. I know it hasn't really done much yet, but I think there's an opportunity there that's developed in front of us. I think it's just a little bit behind some of the market. We've got a lot of stuff that's up. XLM's up 4.7%. We've got DGB up 3.23% and seem to have rounded the bottom at 0077 support perfectly. V-Chain's behind. We've got HBAR up about 4.3%. And then some of our odds and ends, like VELO's barely moving up 3%. We've got some ZBCN has made a correction. If you guys are in my Telegram, which is free, I talked about how I flipped out 33% of my ZBCN when it was the last part of it was at 2 cents or 002, and I flipped it into MXC to put my total up to 1.5 million, and now I have 2 million ZBCN. And for me, it's been nothing short of a spectacular move. When I did it, ZBCN was at 002, about just over 002. And MXC was at its lowest of lows when I did it yesterday. And now we can see an 8.8% correction on ZBCN and a 2.44% move today on MXC. Nothing major, but it was a nice time for me to flip in and make my totality of 1.5 million. It's the whole reason I bought 1 million more ZBCN. I didn't have any way of knowing within a 10-day period it was going to move that 150%, but because of it, I was able to sell out 1/3 and accumulate a nice portion of 1.5 million MXC without having to add any additional capital. That's just something I like to do. I don't know what the hell is going on in commodities. Like the pricing, money flow. Remember, when money leaves one avenue, it often finds another. So if risk on is going to be moving, some might find a way to take out of commodities. But look at this. Nothing short of spectacular here to end the day. But remember this. Before we do the intro, just remember this. We need to break past that $2.79, and that opens up the door. First, we'd have $2.98, but I don't want to put it on there yet because the technical totality of this move should be $3.24 in the short. But overall, it's $3.42 because if you look to see where this... And honestly, it had a sideways consolidation out of the wedge. So if you do it, you're supposed to measure it to 342. But I like to go from where it broke out and act like it hit the wedge there so that we can get a short target. And I understand it's all bullshit with what I'm doing right there, but it makes me feel more comfortable. That first target's 327. The overall move's 342 out of this descending wedge. So I like to know. And now that we've created that falling channel breakout, this just looks... If I had a way to do it, I even said before the breakout that if I begged it in my 60-second short a couple days ago and today, go down to 260, better yet, go down to $2.49 and hold. We not only clear the FVG, but we also clear a little back test that had never happened as well that we didn't talk about at 249 as much because I didn't want to scare everybody, but I put it down there and said, don't worry if we drop down there. This is all part of what we need to do. And fortunately for us, we've done what we need to do here, folks. We've done what we need to do to clear out the bottom measures. And now it looks like that inverse head and shoulders we speculated on is actually going to play out. And if it does, I'll see you guys plus $3. As far as the XRP market cap, still got to get above, what is that, 165 billion? And then, guess what? You're pretty clear, guys. We're pretty clear. And yeah, we've got short targets. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But overall, we could clear ourselves another about $80 billion in market cap here. But we still got a lot to push past. Right now, it feels good, sounds good, looks good. But we still have to get above 279 here. It's great that we bounce off 249 and 260. But I won't get excited until we break that 279 layer. And we can start pushing for the official target of the short term. So I'm very happy with how it's going. I'm really keeping my eye on Algo because I really feel like something's brewing here. Can't quite put my finger on it, but it really feels like it's on the backside of this breakout. And it looks like it's trying to size it up for after the flip. Nice W reversal here. Nice back test. Nice inverse head and shoulders in the short term. Even back testing the inverse right shoulder breakout at the neckline. I mean, if you were asking me, this looks like it's about to pop. I could be wrong, but it looks like it's about to pop. Trading with J-Ride, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for well over 3 years with the XRP Diamond I can't even say it. The XRP Diamond Hands badge, but also for the $10 donation. Oh yeah, we can look at B2 Gold pretty quickly right now. Since you sent a donation, I'll just pop to it. And after hours right now, it's down 7 cents. And we know that earnings came. And when you look at earnings, people are not going to be very happy, remember. With this earnings, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting a miss in earnings by 83%. The revenue's on point. But remember, their Molly mine was down, so it's going to look bad at the end. So that is going to cause probably a sustained drop there. It's possible. It's possible that that's going to have a nice little correction. I don't know. I knew it was going to be hard to hit the targets, but an 83% miss on earnings is not what you want to see. Now, revenue barely missed, so that could save the day because it's more, for me, it's more important how much revenue you have over earnings because I mean, they're both important. But this is, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, I know the Molly mine was closed and there was a few other ones that were closed. Well, there was a few damaging, but I don't know. We're going to have to see how this plays out here. Because it was quite the opposite of what happened with Barrick Gold. It was quite the opposite of what happened with Barrick Gold when they had earnings. They actually beat beat earnings by 10%, missed revenue by 7.9%. So, and that ended up pumping a little bit here. Hey, look at that old Vincenzo, my brother. Matic Polygon, 336% pump or 0. Well, hopefully we get that 336% pump because I own Poly. But yeah, with B2 Gold, definitely missed on earnings. And we got to see what kind of chain reaction, but that has an inverse setup. So what I'm expecting is probably a drop to 240 if this does play out like this and possibly create a little bit of an inversion here. But that is not what we wanted to see. I mean, this could drop it all the way to like $2.13. That's a big miss. That's a big miss. But we'll see. It's already been underperforming, so we'll see how much it afflicts it, but not a good sign in earnings right there. Could give us more opportunities. Just keep reaccumulating, keep accumulating until it's time, but that's quite the interesting dilemma we got going there. So let me do the intro. It's already 17 minutes. There is no way that I have been on 17 minutes. Tom, how do you get in the army? Oh, you just joined Tom's Army. Go to my homepage on YouTube. Basically, Tom's Army is a simple way of saying you're paying it forward for the time I put in. You're not getting anything additional. I give all my information out for free, and I will do that forever. So just because you join Tom's Army, don't think I'm going to all of a sudden bow down to you and get on my hands and knees. You know, that's just the way that you're showing the support. I already get down on my hands and knees and bow down to everybody, so you don't need to pay me to do it. I'll do it for free for the support that you show me by watching my videos. So don't think you need to go over and above, to support me. If you want to, that's one thing. You go to my membership tab and you join Tom's Army on YouTube. So that's how you get into Tom's Army. It's $9.99 a month. I put out all my information for free, and I hope, I expect, and yada, 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 so on and so forth. That's what I do. So the ones who want to pay it forward, you can. You don't have to. You're going to get the same information. I make this for everybody, so it does make me feel good when people support my work. Don't get me wrong, but it's not required. Like, if you don't have the money, I don't want it. I don't want I don't want people to spend money they don't have on me. That's all. So if you feel comfortable and you want to support my program, by all means, but you're not required. You're going to get the information. I'm not going to cheat you out of it. So don't think you have to do that. But I appreciate the thought. And then I do have the Telegram. It's been going pretty good. I didn't partake in it for about 2 years as I got rid of bad actors, because we had almost 1,000 people in there at one time a couple years ago. And I literally whitewashed the whole thing, and I slowly but surely started rebuilding it. It's almost 200 people now, and now I've been way more involved the last few days because I wanted to go back. If you don't have the money, you can always hit those likes. Tom is a rockstar doing all this for us. Oh, I appreciate that, Pop Wheelie, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. I really appreciate that. You do get the custom emojis that I made and put together for you guys. And then you get special little things you can post on. But, besides that, hey, what was the Trump message on Truth Social about? Well, I can pull up the Trump message. I'll pull up the Trump message on my phone. I don't have it on my tablet, the Truth Social, but I certainly have it on my phone so I can keep up to date with what's going on. But then again, I don't even think I put it on this phone, so maybe I don't. No, I don't. I never put it on my new phone. But he did speak of XRP. I'm sure you could do a simple Google search and we'll be able to find it. So, this is what ended up happening. So, Donald Trump shares CoinDesk XRP article on Truth Social, spurring bullish sentiment. Trading volume for XRP is up by 26% to 5.5 billion in the past 24 hours. So, we're going to read this. And then also, we're going to go through the charts the best we can. I also want to show a couple things. This is where, and it's pretty interesting, the total market cap, the total 3, it back tested the breakout point with that wick. I mean, literally back tested at 100%. And then outside of that, I also wanted to look at this. Oh, wait a minute. That's the first one. I had 2 things I wanted to look at. We have that, and then we have this. And this was the Bitcoin. We have a CME gap up here at 97,000. I wanted to remember this. I didn't want to forget, so I just took a picture. But we have a CME gap at 97,491. So that's where I think we're, and this is at the time when this was taken, but 97,491 remains. It still remains. And right now, Bitcoin's about 1,000 points away from there, roughly. So what is it? Only about 500. Did we fill that gap already today? I don't think we got all the way up there. No. We didn't get all the way up there yet. Let's see yesterday. Nope, because we came down. Yep, we haven't filled that gap yet. So that's something to be remembered too as well. So good evening. 6:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. I thank you all for tuning in. I really, really do. I really, really do. I'm a little under the weather still. Nothing major, just a little congested and stuff like that. So hopefully you can deal. I like to be here no matter what. And I wanted to be here today. So there's 2 things. First, we'll go into the Trump thing, but Ripple XRP news. Brazil approves first spot XRP ETF. And then Trump shares Ripple post. So let's go through this. Brazil is the first country to approve a spot XRP exchange-traded fund. Let's see. Brazil's securities regulator has greenlit the #NASDAQ XRP Fundo D index, setting a global precedent for XRP investment vehicles. Trump has shared a Ripple story on social media. The newly approved ETF, currently in its pre-operational phase, was established on December 10, 2024, according to CVM records, my dad's birthday. It is administered by Genial Investimentos, a well-known Brazilian investment brokerage firm, while #NASDAQ, a leading asset manager in the digital asset space, is responsible for managing the fund. While an official trading launch date on Brazil's B3 exchange is yet to be announced, #NASDAQ has confirmed to Portal do Bitcoin, a local news outlet, that the regulatory approval is in place. The firm plans to release additional details soon regarding the ETF's trading schedule and operational framework. Meanwhile, President Trump posted a news story about Ripple's status as a U.S. crypto company. This is expected to favor Ripple's relationship with regulators, and ultimately that's good news for XRP investors. Adjust your XRP price predictions higher if Trump gets involved, as he is teasing here. So this is what Trump shared. Donald Trump effect bumped Ripple Labs' U.S. deal XRP gains. This shift in focus towards the U.S. market is part of Ripple's response to the Trump effect, which is believed to be making crypto more favorable in the U.S. I mean, that's what it's all about. So while Brazil moves ahead, the U.S. remains in limbo. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has received multiple applications. We already know that. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. So that's what all that's about. That was what all that noise was about. So yeah, Trump did, he did, in fact, talk about it. Crypto Fear and Greed Index today. Let's see. Wow, it's still at 49. That's great. After all this, that's great. We just updated like 2 minutes ago. Or at 7 o'clock. That is fantastic. It only moved up to neutral. Wow. Oh no, they shadow banned me, unfortunately. I just think that good information gets blocked a lot. That's just how I feel. Isn't that crazy, Nick? Isn't that crazy? Nick said we just cleared 3 4-hour FVGs in one candle. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why I was so excited when it did that. Now I've got a full head of, like, my eyes are on Algo. I really believe Algo is getting ready for something. I do. It feels like it's getting ready for something. Even the 4-hourly was a nice reversal. We're going to see. This would be very interesting if Algo decides to pop here. Because up to 28 cents, that short target, I mean, it's not a huge target. Don't get me wrong. It's about the same move XRP just made. But then it's bigger. Oh, we close inside the third. Oh, that makes sense. Makes sense. Because we never cleared 279 yet. So, duh, I should know that. We needed to come back to the top and break it to clear the short-term FVG that was left over the top. I believe. Although, I mean, it did come down as, yeah, so we need to pop back up. What do you mean for Algo? Algo absolutely has a bullish divergence. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It depends what time frame you're on. But it does. The shorter time frames are catching up too, which is nice. Very nice. 15-minute, I know we've already done what we need to do there. Now we're kind of back testing. Well, we were trying to hold at 200, but we came down a little bit. But this looks like a little flag here that wants to rally out of here as well. The higher time frames for Algo. We're working, folks. Look at this. Like, we've had the bullish crosses here. The divergences are so... But we're looking for the golden cross here in the higher time frames. Just got to have this pull up. And in the short term, if this pulls up, assuming we can break out of this area, because we got a lot to do still. Big resistance over the top on Algo. So you got one at 40. You've got one at 55 or 57, I mean. Short term, 28. And then you can try to break up in the smaller term. But it looks like we're trying to break out. We really are trying to break out, it looks like. Now, can it pull out? Can it go favorable? I think because of the money that was printing is a pretty good sign that this is probably going to happen. I'd actually be pretty stunned if this doesn't pull up. So, Kryptonian, welcome in. I have looked into Ondo, yes. I have not bought any, but I have looked into it. I don't really have any capital that I want to release right now and do more projects. Not because I don't like Ondo, but because I'm pretty stacked here. And I've already got too much money in crypto. In my opinion. Well, I don't know if it can be too much, but my ratios are starting to, you know. But, Kryptonian, the good thing is that our, I wanted to bring this up when I seen you. Axelar had a great day. Axelar had a great day. And the cool thing about Axelar is everybody in this community, after Kryptonian brought it up, charted it out after I looked through it for a day or two. And we're up here somewhere, around 50-something cents. And we determined that this would be the best area to buy, based on the pattern formation, is if we could get this uptrend at 31 cents. Now, my average is somewhere about 36 cents. So, I got some at like 42, majority at 32, 33. But it definitely brought in a good area. And then yesterday we were up about, what, 11, 12%? What did it end up in the last daily? I know we're up about 11, 12% at the end. Yeah, about 11.8%. We hit 18 at one point. So now we need to make sure that's not an exhaustion in the short term. And as soon as it takes it over, I mean, this could get pretty hot right now. Because that's another what looks like a small inversion here. And just like we seen with ZBEC, buy support and you're supposed to hold it through resistance unless you break through. So buy support, now you're holding the resistance to 97 cents, assuming it plays true. And yeah, there are short-term consolidations, just like there always is. And if you would like me to draw it in, I can. I absolutely can. Because you're going to have to look at a resistance structure that goes across like this. And until we break past that, you can say, well, maybe we're just coming up to a resistance. So it's a beautiful way to look at it. It gives you that short target. So our short target, about 60 cents. About 60 cents. You break through that and you open up the door for another 30-something% rally. And the crazy thing is the fact that now with the 36-cent average, this leaves limitless possibilities here. And I have 12,579. It's either 79 or 76 of these now. And I can't even believe it. The fact it gave me, oh, that's at 38 cents. Fuck it, at 38 cents. Just to get back to the top, you know, that's 158% from 38. Yep, I'm spot too. Yep, all spot. I don't like to deal with Tether. I mean with leverage. I've become more in love with not even looking at leverage for the most part. Just focusing on the spot. And this has a ripple connection, so it took a while for it to start rounding that bottom. And it's been stuck in this pattern a while, so eventually I think good things are coming for us in Axelar. I really, really do. And I think it's going to come up there at some point. Yes, it looks crazy now, but it always looks crazy what I draw until it plays out, so. Too risky. How about, what do you mean too risky? Who said, what's too risky, Frankie? This particular token or trying to invest? I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. So, yeah, it's more risky at 50 cents. It's not at 31 anymore, that's for sure. That's why I'm very happy that we were able to diagnose it there, but we'll see what the market has in store for us now. Oh yeah, leverage, definitely too risky. You're right about that, Frankie. And James, absolutely way too risky. A lot of them are repeating. It's almost like a rinse and repeat here. It's pretty interesting. The total 3, which we really have to pay attention to, is down about 700 million since the flip. But if we want this to play out, and we came down and tapped the total 3 liquidity, as I talked about, we came down and we sucked that entire back test, and it's awesome. And this was the make it or break it pivot point at about 700 billion. And I mean, we came and grabbed everything we could. Now we're within this formation, the total 3. We talked yesterday if it bounced off that support. Unfortunately for us right now, it's bouncing off that support. It's bouncing off that support. And so far from the bottom, we've come up about 38.3 billion, 4.5%. We're looking for that move, the short-term move up to here at about 970 billion area. And the total 3, if you're not familiar, that's the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So even though we see a total crypto market cap of 3.13 trillion, if you minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's only 892 million to go around the entire crypto market outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. When you look at it like that, it makes it pretty interesting. Now we know the CME gap on Bitcoin still hasn't played out yet. And the totality is 97. That's it. Excuse me, I need to go blow my nose, but 97,491. And we're going to continue to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this, so stay tuned. All right. Now that I got that out of the way. First time I'm hearing of it. How does it relate to bull run? I don't know anything. Oh, the total 3 is going to tell you when the altcoins are truly bullish because it takes out Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, when I talked about it yesterday, I said not a lot of people actually know what it is, so I want to start talking about it a lot more. Because we always focus on the total crypto market cap, but if we're being real, we've got the total 3, and that just eliminates Bitcoin and Ethereum from that market cap. So when we're talking about alt season and altcoins, forget the total crypto market cap. You got to look at the total 3. Because once this breaks out, you have an alt season. Like, this would legitimately bring you into an alt season, and what do we see here? Massive cup that's formed. And now we'll see if it's building a handle here. That's a very bullish monthly candle, by the way, if it can pull up. It tapped the liquidity, and we've still got 9 days here. So I think altcoins are trying to get ready for something. A lot of people are talking about HBAR. And I'm very happy to talk about HBAR. I have owned HBAR since 4.5 cents, and I'm pretty happy about that. HBAR is definitely on the outside of what looks like a descending wedge, if we just go as far out as we can. And it's definitely trying to break out here. It's attempting a breakout, overzealous sell-off, stayed above the pivot point. Now that we're breaking out, I mean, sky's the limit here if we can push. We need to invalidate these topping reversal patterns, or the double top, Batman top. The whole market is set up like this. Oh, no. You should also look at Bitcoin dominance. Absolutely, you should. Don't think just because the total 3 is lined up with altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. You always want as much evidence as you can receive. So the Bitcoin dominance paired with the total 3 will tell you everything you need to know. If Bitcoin dominance is still rising, the total 3 is probably not going to be making a big move. However, we've been hoping that this is an exhaustion wick here, which who knows if it is. Who knows if it is. Oh, Nick. I crave it. That bullish hammer. But with Bitcoin, we know the optics with Bitcoin. It looks like a bearish pennant. We have lower highs and higher lows, which is a pennant. And because it came in a bearish pennant, like a downward direction that could have been seen as a bear flag almost in the beginning. But now understanding the chart, that's actually a bearish pennant right now. A breakdown out of the pennant would be down to 8.57% domination. However, I still see a shot here for it to have an overzealous run out, even if bearish, to 72.3%. There's I don't want to necessarily say there's a gap, because it's already filled here. But right here, I still think it would do us justice. We need to come up there. When we dropped there, we never quite pulled back up. So I still see that as an area with a gap that could be filled, even if bearish. But the Bitcoin dominance is very, very important. So I apologize for maybe making it sound like all you need to look at is the total 3. But if you're looking at the potential of altcoins, you look at the total 3. If you're looking for alt season, you look at Bitcoin dominance, is the best way I can put it. So if the total 3 is moving, it means altcoins getting some money pumped into it. But if Bitcoin dominance is pumping at the same time, it means most of it's being redirected to Bitcoin, and we're getting the minute pushes up. You know, that's the best way I can say it. Right now in the weekly, though, Bitcoin, you know, kind of leaves a lot to be desired. You had an inverted hammer, kind of an inverted hammer there on the candle before, and now it's kind of a doji candle right now, which kind of sucks. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll see if it can break down or if it's going to continue to dominate the money. But yeah, I'm fully have my eyes on Algo right now. I fully have my eyes on a few of them. So man, I feel like I've talked all around a circle, and it's already been 40 minutes. I mean, I don't think you can make up how quickly these lives go sometimes. It's unbelievable. But I want to do this. If you want to join the Telegram so you can talk to me after the lives and talk to the community, please don't hesitate. I'm going to share it with all of you, and then I'll give you a short visual. And you don't have to pay for anything. I want this to be part of our community. I just want everybody to be involved if you want to be involved, but I have a very quick trigger finger. This went south a few years ago bad actors. So there's no warnings. If you don't approach it with love, respect, dignity, humility, humbleness, helping each other, and you're a dick, I'm instantly banning you. There's no warning. There's none of that. You don't even get one chance. Can't join, kicked out. No, you're not kicked out anymore. William. It won't let you back on still. That's crazy. I don't think you are kicked out right now. I wasn't even the one who kicked you out originally. Remember, that's when we had the overzealous mods. And then I walked away and said, you know what? I'm going to restart this. You are still banned? Ooh. Let's see. Let's see how I fix this. I'm going to have to look at this if I can't figure this out now. I'm gonna have to look at this after and try to figure this out. I gotta figure out where the ban list is at. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I think I remember now. But anyhow, I'll look at this deeper after I get off of here too. So I gotta remember how to do all of this again. But yeah, I'm gonna share this for everybody else, and then William, I'm gonna work on that after this and see if I can figure this out. See if I can figure it out, because I wasn't on Telegram for like in any kind of capacity for like 3 years, if I'm being honest. 2 years, 3 years, because I was trying to thin it out, and it took a long time to get it the way I wanted. And William, I know you remember what happened with everybody, so you know why I can't have bad actors in there, because they ruin everything. So that's why, you know, we're going to do this and we're going to do it together. How do you guys join my Telegram? I'm going to pin this comment right now because I've seen all the questions. I apologize for taking a second. I had to get the link. So that's it where I pinned it. And thank you so much, Zakaria, for the $1.99. How are you in the fan, brother? Thank you for everything. Thank you for the 10th YouTube Super Chat. We're doing good. My son's been doing great since almost a week ago when that incident happened. I know some of you don't know because you weren't in here, but last Thursday, my son, we did a button change on him, and then, because he has a feeding tube, G-tube, and it got, like, he vomited, and it got, like, caught in his throat, and it caused him to, like, basically, he was suffocating on his own vomit. So I did measures that I learned when I did CPR and AED, and I picked him up, and I was just batting the back of his neck, and he was literally blue and, like, limp in my hand, so it was a scary moment. But before the ambulance got here, I cleared the airway and had him breathing, and by the time we were in the ambulance, all of his vitals came back and he was fine. But holy smokes, was it the scariest moment of my life, you know? And I've had some pretty scary moments. And so yeah, that happened last Thursday. And it's you know, it's what it is. No, I thank you for that, IQ. I need an invite in order to work. Sorry about your son, Tom. My heart sinks. Yeah, it was a scary moment, but we came out of it. He's doing very well. And the crazy thing is, God gave me and Julie intuition something wasn't right, so we kept pacing back and forth by his room like every 2 seconds, and that's how I caught it while it was happening. Like I literally seen it in the process. So, you know, I thank my Lord and Savior for that. You know, for the guidance, because it's a miracle that I was in the right place at the right. Let's just put it that way. It was a miracle to see him when I did. And it's because of our intuition we've been given. So, but IQ, William, let's see. So you won't be able to click that link that I sent you. Or that I posted for the group. I put a link in here. So when you click it, it's not going to work, is going to be the problem. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Damn it, I forgot about that. Definitely forgot about that. But I want you to be in there. Check me out, you muted me. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like I said, it's been a number of years. Let's see. I'll look at this after because, let's see. I don't remember what, I think you were IQ on there as well. Or were you William on there? I can't remember. Well, IQ, do you remember how you spelled your name on there before? Out of curiosity. But we'll try to dig deeper into that. I'll try to dig deeper into that as well. But I do thank everybody for being in here. If you want to talk after and ask questions and things like that, yeah, see, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how I did that, to be honest with you. So that means you're in like my spam list, which is gonna be interesting. Let's see. And this was so long ago, like we're talking years. Years and years and years. Because your stuff, William, doesn't even pop up to me. And you know why. Because you're muted, like you just said. But I would like to change that. You're good people, and I really like you. You're like one of the favorite people I've come across in my time, which is ironic. I think you're genuine. I do. I think you're a genuine person. Here we go. See, because I've only got 12 blocked users. And it doesn't show you. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. I think this is you. Is this really you? Hey, William. Try to do it now. I think I found you. I think I found you. Let me know. Click that link. I'm pretty sure that I found you. Because I don't know who else would have had the same name as you. But yeah, if you're interested, this is the army. This is the Telegram. And there's a general chat. And we've got a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of people, cool people in here now that talk. I used to do an XRP daily setup every single day before I got bombarded. And then also a cool thing you can do if you guys like UB2B, the meme genius in our group, and we've got a page so that we can find him. And then if you want to go through and try to learn terminology, I did this a few years ago, and I was dead set on doing this step by step. And I might not have a course to teach, but if you go in here, I taught everything about this. And I was doing this for weeks. Every day that I came across something new, I put it in there. And there's so much stuff to be learned. You can go back into the days of the gold and silver reports and things like that. There's just so much stuff that you guys will be able to uncover. And I think it's a cool spot we can all hang out. I did not live in Georgia, no. I did not live in Georgia. So, I mean, it'll be a cool place for any of you who really enjoy crypto if you want to be amongst, similar people. Yes. All right, IQ. I'm glad that I found that. That makes me happy. So, I don't want to say in conclusion yet because we're not done yet, but we have to pay attention to this with XRP. Next level to break $2.79. And after a push up, that's a great close in the 4-hourly, the way it started 25 minutes ago. Title should be the Ramble channel. Well, I do ramble. I have the gift of gab. You join, but you can't chat. Huh. I don't know why that is. Look at us, Julia, we're having issues. I do ramble. That's who I am. I'm an Italian and Lebanese, and I have the gift of gab. There's no doubt about that. In the short-term downtrending resistance, 274, but we still have that 279 layer. So really get past 274 and we open up the door to 279. And once we break that 279 and hold, we open the door up to that 298. But overall, our target right now is about $3.27 in the short term. I know I do. I absolutely do have the gift of gab. I've unfortunately known that since I was a kid. I never shut up. Good or bad. But I really like the way this is set up. I think this is actually playing out as an inverse head and shoulders. I know we already talked about XRP, the XRP Bitcoin pairing and things like that. And we looked at oh no, we didn't. We just know that Bitcoin has a CME at around 97,400. And the fact we're breaking out of this right now, this could be super bullish back up to the top. Because I still think that might be a cup and handle here on the short term. I know we're in a broadening wedge and we broke out of a symmetrical triangle and back tested. And now we're pushing and breaking out of the short formation. This could be very interesting. This could be very interesting for Bitcoin. I think something big is about to happen. And the fact they printed $400 million in the Tether treasury, I think is probably a key indicator here that it's going to happen. HBAR up 1/4% or 1/10%. It's on a breakout attempt here. We talked about it a little while ago. If this does break out, it's coming right back up to the top around 40 cents. That's the next big target. We're inside of that kind of a formation if you look at it all together. And then shorter, we were in kind of like a descending wedge, you could call it. I could almost argue that it might have been in a falling channel as well that had an overzealous drop out. That had an overzealous drop out here. But I don't know. Because then you could say, well, Tom, couldn't you just say it was a smaller wedge there? Yes, and that's why I keep saying the descending wedge that it was technically in. And you can see how it overdropped back out, but it filled it to the end. So yeah, the target initially, and this is why I want to back out here, because I believe we're built a cup and handle here in the short term, as we can see. And if that's a short-term cup and handle, we're going to start building layers, and eventually we're going to find our way over $1. I don't know when or how or, the circumstance that's going to bring us there. But it's eventually going to work its way up there. In the short term, can't really do anything until we break out of here and then ultimately push past 40 cents. Then it opens up a new layer of a new push that we haven't seen since 22. Between 21 and 22, we haven't seen those levels since. So, but we have to get past 40 cents approximately to start pushing that level. And that's just the way I'm looking at it. And then if we break that and this short-term cup and handle pushes, that's like 57. There's a big opportunity here, especially knowing that we bought at 4.5 cents. Like, I still can't grasp some of this, that even though we were focused on XRP, because of the community, Tanya, and so many of you in here, we were able to not only build an XRP, but the H-bars and like Axelar that I didn't even know about until, what, a month ago? 2 months ago now? Maybe a month and a half? And able to hone into that as well. Not even knowing about ZBEC until like 10 or 15 days ago. And we were able to chart it out. And we rallied from 0007 all the way up to the 002 target. And now it's double top there, unfortunately. It's double top. We already know we have a gap here. So I don't know. We shouldn't be afraid for it to actually hit it. And for all intents and purposes, it came down pretty good, though. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know. That could be the hit, and this is the problem. Because we don't know if this is if it's going to come all the way back and back test, which it could. It could come all the way back down here to that 0014 level. But if it breaks out of here and this is an inverse head and shoulders here like we drew before it ever pulled up, holy smokes. So I'm got my eye there. MXC, very, very intrigued to see where this goes. It's in the lowest of low levels. And had it have dropped down, we could have revisited this area. So we're still watching to see if it can revisit. However, if this is the support structure, now we need to start rounding. First level, 00318. Second layer to try to get back within this descending small wedge that was trying to form that it broke down out of. That's at 0035. So we created a lot of resistance here. And then ultimately we're going to have to get over 0043 to try to push to the top of this formation, which is up at 008. So a lot of stuff to pay attention to. Poly. I mean, that could be at the bottom of its support structure as well. I'm excited to have 10,000 Poly again. I didn't have it for a number of years. It used to be Matic, but now it's POL on the newer exchanges. I don't know if it's going to break down either because it has this death cross in the weekly, and it is making a case to where if this were to break down, I mean, you don't want this to break down. This is a very wide pattern that's been going on. And it actually retested areas last seen in 2022. So this could be the calm before the storm back up, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. Somebody mentioned Ondo, I think Kryptonian. I didn't want to put the charting in until we did it together, but it is not a bad token. It's not a bad token. It's got a lot of interesting features on it and a lot of ties that I don't really want to get into right now because I don't have the time. But there are some unique tie-ins here that some of you know about. This is the biggest problem I have with Ondo right now. I don't know where the support floor is. I don't know where the support floor is. Like I don't. In the weekly, I get a little basis like that. But then if I do it like this, and I do it in the shorter time frame, what I keep getting every single time I did it on my own is I would start here. I'd work my way through that resistance or support structure. And this is what I was coming up with every single time I drew this out on my own. I could not get away from looking at it the same exact way. And it was starting to bother me because I feel like I'm missing something. Because if you go from the resistance up here and you come across, it gives you this same exact layout every single time. But then when I started to kind of mess with it, it gives you like by layer. It's almost like a fan is setting up because it's had such a drop and rise and drop again. It's formed like this little falling channel. It's formed a little descending triangle. Like, it's formed a lot of different things here that we need to get out of. And I'm just not comfortable knowing where that support structure is, like, because even when I look at it from this perspective, like going like this and going like this and running through, like maybe it is more like this. And I just have to acknowledge that that's what it is. Pull this all the way through. And maybe it is something like that. And we just got to bounce out of it. So a few ways this could be an expansion zone here. But there's no doubt about it. That resistance over the top. And yeah, it would be fucking phenomenal. Like with Axelar. If it dumped down and we got it right at this trend support, which I doubt it's going to come down to 70 cents, that'd be a 30-something% drop. No, 44% drop almost. But it does seem pretty tight into this area. And once it breaks out, I mean, you're going to come back up over the top. It's just, I'm not comfortable enough to buy into it, especially where it's at. It's a little too pricey for me. In long term, it might not be. But the precious metals market is really interesting right now, guys. Silver or gold's back. It's over 2,940, and silver is getting pretty close to 33 bucks. Something's brewing here. I don't trust these drops so much. Kind of reminds me of crypto when it made that pull, but now we have to see because we had a decent day on Wednesday. And now that the flip of the clocks happened, it's usually slightly up and down in the beginning of a candle close. So you'd want to see the consolidation first. But I really would like to see some upward volatility here. I don't want to give it all back here. I don't want it to be, oh, we just came up to a rejection area or anything like that. But what was it? We talked about Algo in the beginning. So just remember, you're trying to find the best possible opportunity if it does correct. That's a reversal candle right here in the 4 hourly. Well, that's the 3 hourly, but 4 hourly was the same. This looks like it's getting ready. It already came back and back tested 25.60. If it came back down, that's like 25.29, but it really doesn't need to. Oh, yeah, the audit on Fort Knox from the Department of Government Efficiency. What I see happening right now is now they're printing all this money and they're going to try to build back the gold reserve. And remember, if they revalue gold and they put it back, basically, I don't want to call it a gold standard, but they could basically monetize the debt. And based on the price that they would revalue gold, because in the U.S. Constitution, believe it or not, the U.S. has the authority, and I don't even know how we pulled this off, but we have the authority to remonetize or revalue the price of gold. So if we monetize it to the national debt and parlay it into that, and that's a very little known thing. It's a very little known thing that we actually are in control of the gold price and we can revalue it based on our constitution, which is pretty interesting. And then if we monetize it, they could revalue it at an X amount of dollars tied into X amount of ounces to wipe out the X amount of 30-something trillion in debt. I don't necessarily think they're going to revalue it to 50,000, but would I be mad? You better not believe I would be mad. I'd be a millionaire if gold, from gold, no, not from gold. I'd have about $750,000 if they revalue gold to 50,000 an ounce. So I would not be mad. Ondo, yes, T-bills on the ledger. Yeah, that's a big part. That's a big informative part. We're going to have a deep dive into Ondo in the near future. It's just I've run a little long here, and it's already been an hour, and I do have to go. My son he wants me and things like that. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Ethereum is still, it's under 3,000 still. It is breaking out of that. I don't want to say breaking out, but it came back within this little channel. And now we very well could find ourselves breaking back in and pushing back up towards 3,300. There's no doubt about it. Ethereum's underachieved so far. But we need to see if this is like the third hit down here. It filled it out for an inverse right shoulder now. So we'll see if this actually plays out. We don't want it to be a rising wedge, but it could be an ascending triangle as well. So, yep. I'd stay on for about an hour, and but now I do have to go. So thank you all, everybody. If you're looking to trade on the exchanges I do, it's in the video description below or it's on my homepage of YouTube as well. But yeah, join the Telegram on the pinned comments. And if you have any questions, exchanges, I can send you a link in the Telegram. I can pin a link so you guys know where I'm trading. But other than that, I just want our community to get a little bit deeper. And the only way to do that is if we get to know each other outside of YouTube. And we can kind of go back and forth in the Telegram. And I'm very, very transparent in there. And I'm very much involved. So please, if you guys are interested, I would love to see you. There's no monetization or anything like that you have to pay. You don't have to send any of your money or currency, I should say. I just want your valued opinions. And I want your good nature. That's it. DGB, because it's DGB, as I walk out of here. It rounded the bottom. It rounded the bottom here at the 7.7 support, 0.077, which is perfect. Now it's back testing the breakout here at 0.08. If this holds, get ready. It's been a long time coming here for DGB. So just, that's what we need to do. Soon as Ethereum get a pump, the CEO sell off. I mean, you're not wrong about that. You are not wrong about that. Thank you, everybody, though. You've made me very happy this evening. I love the ones in the audience that are helping each other. Peace and love to all of you. Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Remain humble, show humility, and let's do this together. There's not many communities that stick together in crypto. We're a little different than the rest, and we're not as big as most, but we are very, very, very motivated, and we're very, very much on the ball. So, hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag FUD Assassins. And remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part, and you don't do your part, which is the good nature part, and help and share and help push and motivate others, we have no chance going into 2028. And I've been saying this since 21. Going into 28, all fronts have got to be together. We've got to be together. Forget politics. Forget the emotional tug. Just know that the central banks rule the world. And I'd rather have Trump in than anybody else at this point. If that offends people, I've already called Trump out, and I offended people like that when he did the meme debacle and things like that. But as far as who's in there, you know, I'd rather have a good talker and somebody who understands at least the tax code and not make me sound like an asshole. So that's the way it goes. Don't be divided by politics, but be brought together by our equal love of crypto. And understand, if you need to create a store of value, you have the power within you. And it's not crypto, the store of value. It's gold, silver. It's commodities. Hell, if you want to buy rice and sugar, go for it. Or sugar, I should say. But that's it.